Welcome to Men on Scandal. This is our look at the latest episode of Scandal from a male perspective. And of course, I got Mark Clark there in New York City and Troy Johnson in Washington, D.C. I'm Tony Scott in St. Louis. The episode is called The Last Supper. This is now next week will be the winter finale. Well, when did we start using winter finales, man? When did that start to happen?
That seems like a Shonda Rhimes kind of thing.
It does seem like a Shonda thing, doesn't it?
I need a break.
You know?
Let's split the season. I don't know why that. Well, I know why. Because it's because of the holidays. It's because of the NFL. I think a lot of those things play into it. You know.
But they don't even run the NFL on ABC though. So,
they don't. But I think people are distracted from all of these other things going on. So
they take a break. And she's not the only one. I mean, the Blacklist on NBC, they're on their winter break. I mean, they all take a winter break, and then they pick up, I guess, like you said, I think last year they took an extended break, didn't they? Because Kerry Washington was having the baby. So, but we open up this episode, man, and it's with Olivia and Fitz telling Jake that he is innocent. You know? And of course, Jake's mad, man. I mean, because Jake, you know, Fitz had him chained down for days, and you know, and then he went in there and he stole on him. And Jake, while he was chained up, he couldn't do nothing. He couldn't fight back. You know, and so, you know, they're trying to figure out the strategy. The three, I guess now they're called jolitz. Jake, Olivia, and Fitz. It's now jolitz now, man. So that's what I saw on the interwebs last night, man. But while they're all talking back and forth, you know, Jake is mad, you know, because way he was treated and he was accused and not given the benefit of the doubt. And, you know, the president calls him Jake and he says Captain Ballard. Yeah. You got to call me Captain. Only my friends call me Captain Ballard. And my friends don't accuse me of something that I didn't do. And my friends don't hit me when I can't hit them back. Point taken. Yeah. Because I think in a steel cage match, man, Jake mops the floor with Fitz. Let's just call it what it is.
You think so?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think pound for pound, Fitz might be heavier, but I don't know. You're right. Jake's savagery is maybe out of control.
I think Jake would have a little bit more endurance because I mean Fitz was handing him I mean, of course he was, like you said, he was locked down and tied up, but he was giving it to him. How?
Yeah, but I mean, you know, you always look good beating on somebody when they ain't hit you back.
Well, I mean,
you know,
it wasn't necessarily that. It was just the fact that there was some power behind the punches.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I mean, there was emotion. There was emotion behind those punches because of what he was being accused of, killing his son. So, and Jake tells Olivia, "I don't want justice. I want to kill your father."
And you know what, Jake, if we had a meter like Olivia, Fitz, and Jake, like who's right most of the time, Jake would definitely dust the room with those two. Well, you know, most of basically everything he said is pretty much true. Yeah. Even the observations, it's very interesting. Olivia and Fitz live in a fantasy world most of the time.
Yeah. Yeah. And the thing is that you know, while they were going back and forth, and then Jake didn't even want to he didn't even want to acknowledge that Fitz was in the room. So when Fitz would say something to him, there was one time when he said, "Excuse me, I'm talking to my girlfriend." You know, that little dig right there, right? Yeah. And you could tell by looking at Olivia, she was eating it up. She was loving those two basically fighting over her.
Calm down, guys.
You know, it was like, you know, she you could tell she just loved that, man. You know? And as they strategize, you know, they tell Jake that he cannot leave. He's going to have to stay locked down because if he leaves, then Eli's going to know what's up. Right. You know? And Jake's going to stay while, as Jake said, while you and Olivia strategize at night. What do y'all? Right. y'all can leave. I gotta stay. And I think it might have come off better if Olivia would have told him, "We're not letting you out," rather than Fitz.
Yes.
You know. Yeah. And then as they're leaving, you know, well, just before they leave, the "standing in the sun" phrase comes into play. Apparently, that's Jake and Olivia's catchphrase. That's their song, so to speak.
That's what we do. We stand in the sun.
We stand in the sun.
Fitz says, "Well, I stand in that."
Yes.
You know the rest.
You stand in the sunshine.
You stand in the sun.
Standing in that.
Stand in the sunshine. Yes, a Harlem Nights reference. Yes.
And the thing that is funny, like Jake, if Fitz and Olivia, if Fitz wasn't married and the president, and they stood in the sun, then they would then ride off into the sunset.
Yeah.
I think Jake knows that, you know.
Yeah.
So with Jake, we're standing in the sun today. You know,
Today.
like,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know,
That's how this all is going to end. He's going to be standing in the sun by himself.
You know.
he's actually going to get sun.
You stand in the sun.
Yes.
I know what she tastes like. Okay. All right. So Jake tells Olivia and Fitz as the meeting's breaking up that he has B613 files in storage. That stops them in their tracks. And that look on Olivia's face, man, was like, boy, I would do you right now if I could. I would do you. I'd throw you on this table and I would have my way with you if I could, you know? And the funny thing is that Fitz goes to Jake at the end of that meeting and says, no hard feelings. And I thought Jake was going to punch him then, but,
I did too.
you know, but he shook his hand and says, no hard feelings. So there you go.
And
Liz.
apparently upholding the bros before hoes mantra, apparently. Kinda.
Not the bros before hoes. Liz meets with Olivia to show her phone may be bugged. And she basically wants to hire Olivia, and she tells Olivia, I know you don't like me. And Olivia says, I don't like you, but I admire you, you know, for everything that you've accomplished. And so she takes Liz on as a client trying to find out what the hell is going on. But I think Olivia's, you know, she wants to really find out. I mean, you don't get to her level without always having like a parallel agenda going on with your client that's behind the scenes. You know, a client hires you and you're working for them, but at the same time you're running your own separate thing to make sure that everything's right, and you don't get to her level without doing that. And she has a team. And I was thinking last night, she has 2 openings, really, doesn't she? I mean, because
Yes.
Abby and Harrison are not on the team. I mean, it was a team of it was 5. Now there's only 3.
Well, yeah. Never mind. I was putting my joke together. Never mind.
A behind the scenes look at how Mark Clark assembles a joke.
Yes.
Yes.
So the vice president is leaving a speaking engagement, and he stops to meet the restaurant workers at the hotel. And and it's a good thing he did, because he was on his way to the ride, and it blew up.
Yeah, good thing the steak frites were delicious.
Yeah, it wasn't so great. He'd have been a steak freak.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that was close. Where's he been? You know, but there he is.
Right.
You know, and
Yeah, he was on the winter break.
yeah, he was on the winter, spring, summer. So as the president is being told what happened with the vice president, you know, the camera's on. Cyrus is clearly distracted, and it's because he you know, Michael, you know, he cares a lot for Michael, but Michael sold him out. Bottom line, Michael sold him out. You know, and he's, you know, you could tell he's wondering what he's going to do about this. So Eli calls Olivia. And she says, don't call me unless you're in the hospital. She is very salty with her dad. And, you know, this is part 1 of the weekly Eli Pope soliloquy, man, you know. And he's telling her, you may love these boys, but they're not family. And, you know, he says, I'll be here for you. I'll always be here for you. I've always been here for you. You know, the whole, everything I've ever done, I've done for you, you know, spiel. That you know, it was pretty predictable, but he did point out that they were boys at least twice in that conversation.
And as a father, I said this before. Damn it, when Command does those soliloquies, it always gets me, man, because it's kind of true. Like, it's your daughter, you know. No matter how messed up I am, and you think I am, I'm Pops. You're gonna be Pops.
Gonna be Pops.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about it, Troy. If we can rewind last week, what was the line from last week he delivered? Do you remember?
I shine their shoes so you could see your reflection in them. something like that.
Man, that's what dads
Like that
do,
one.
man. You making your baby a superstar. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like every time he has those soliloquies, I'm kind of like, man, I'm feeling this a little bit.
I'm gonna have to call your daughters, Mark. And
I got
see if
3 daughters. I got 3 daughters, so it's like, damn.
I'm gonna have to call them and see if they've heard any of these speeches.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Something tells me you've been remixing them and using them on the girls.
Sydney, I shined your Uggs so you can see the reflection. And Sydney's like, Dad, Uggs don't have a reflection. I'm like, oh, yeah, you're right. Damn smart kids. Go to your room.
Oh, man. Melly goes to see the vice president. She's in a panic because she heard about what happened, about him almost being killed in that explosion and stuff. So she's in a panic. And when she realizes he's all right and they give each other that look, then she goes in on the vice president, man. Then it's hot, steamy monkey sex.
Man.
And he ripped.
He needed some. He just got the car blew up.
Yep.
He needed some care.
He needed some tussin. Well, there you go.
I'm glad that she's not Smelly Melly anymore, because when he tore that shirt open,
yeah,
and that shot right under the bra,
yeah,
I was like, oh, I hope she took care of that.
But let's examine that for a minute, man. I have never in my life ever ripped off the blouse of a woman. Have you guys ever ripped the blouse off?
Because you're married to a black woman. Okay. We're playing, son.
That'd have been the end of it right there.
Is that it? So that's is that a white woman thing or something?
There'd be no tearing off of clothes.
Okay, all right. Because I've never done that before.
Well, Troy, never mind. Troy, never mind. Troy hasn't had a white girlfriend since 1973, when he was 4. So never mind. I was going to ask Troy as a single guy, but
yeah. Well, what about you?
Well, it was 1986 for me, and no, I didn't tear anything up.
Yeah, or off.
But she was Smelly Melly, actually.
Oh, she was. Well, you know. Well,
that's why maybe I'm sensitive to that.
We'll leave that for men on everything. So we'll just kind of put that. We'll put that right on the shelf. So who moved these B613 files, man? Was it David or was it Fitz or was it Jake? Who moved those files, man?
It wasn't David. David was shocked as everybody else.
It was Fitz, right? I mean, I assume that.
Oh, I see. Who had to move?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I imagine he sent the army in there and got him.
Well, jolitz meets with David.
Jolitz.
Jake, Fitz, and Olivia. They meet with David to tell them to let him in the loop, but they kind of want him to prosecute Eli on the low, man. Well, I mean, you can't even do that, right? But I mean, half the stuff they're doing, they're not supposed to be doing. So I guess I don't know how they would get that through, though.
With discretion, they wanted some discretion. I thought it was funny how Jake was saying, I've acquired these B613 files that I think will be an opportunity. And David was like, "You mean the ones I've been looking at every
the one I used to make a guy kill himself?"
Yeah. Oh, those files.
Yeah. Man,
actually, the stock prices for self-storage places are just shooting up because of this show.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is safe. It's a safe deposit box.
And of course,
government.
And of course, Fitz is he's got the hound on, and the hound is in him, man. Because after the meeting, he tells Olivia, when this is over, you and me, Camp David. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You and me, babe. And as they're alone in the hallway / corridor / whatever you want to call it, he tries to kiss Olivia, and he tells her, "Kiss me, Olivia. You want to," and she does. And like I said before, that's her kryptonite. Fitz is her kryptonite, man. And they start the kissing thing, and Olivia just those lips, man. Those lips.
She probably got the top lips in the game these days. Because I even get caught up sometimes. I find myself looking at the TV like next to my wife.
Yes.
Close number 2.
Yes, of course. Yes. As he mistakenly calls his wife Olivia. Yes.
No, I don't do that because my goddaughter's named Olivia. So thanks, Tony.
How was I supposed to know, man? So Fitz knows who's spying on Elizabeth. Is that the deal? Or did I type that wrong? I may have typed that wrong. So,
you typed it wrong.
You know.
You said Fitz knows who's spying on Olivia?
Yeah. No, that's wrong. Wait a minute.
So Olivia knows who's spying on.
Yes, that's what I meant to say.
On Cyrus.
Yes. And Cyrus sits with Olivia and confesses that, that Michael, I got caught up.
I got having sex with a whore.
I got caught up,
What?
And he's asking Olivia to help him, but Olivia's saying, I work for Elizabeth, so I can't really help you because. And he says, well, clients are plenty, friends are few. So he plays the friendship card.
Mm-hmm. How many of us have them? Friends. Ones we can depend on. Come on, Olivia, hook me up.
Come on, man. And Olivia goes to the office and sees, she goes back to her office and sees Javi with Huck. And she asks Huck if Javi's mom knows that he visits Huck. And Huck says, I'm his father. He tells Olivia that twice.
Yeah.
And then he says, do you have a work-related request? Which pretty much shut that conversation down. Mm-hmm. Because as powerful as Olivia is, she still knows crazy, okay? She still knows crazy.
Now, if she knows, if she wanted to, because she's armed with the black woman's guide to shutting anybody down.
Yeah.
She would have said, oh, you the daddy, but you're no father. She would have just crashed. But
well,
she didn't give him that. She's like, all right, crazy.
Maybe Shonda left that on the cutting room floor, man. So,
and we're learning that, yes, Huck, no. Bad judgment when it comes to kids all the way around.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's true. We'll talk about that in a second. Yeah. So Olivia tells Huck, I need to know what kind of dirt Elizabeth has on Cyrus. And she tells Huck, we're doing our due diligence, and he says, I wonder what the law would have to say about that. Which, I mean, he's kind of like, in a way, he's kind of standing up to her. And I guess mostly because she was questioning him about Javi.
Yeah.
Simmer down, son.
Yeah.
What would Javi's mom say about this? And then he says, well, what would the law say about what you're doing?
Yeah. I was kind of surprised.
Can Huck really say that? Your job is to break the law every day.
Yeah.
So the day you go into work, you break the law every day. Your job assignment is to, under the says, break the law every day. Okay.
That's right. So in my free time, I can do what the hell I want to do.
That's right. That's right. So as it turns out, there are pics of Cyrus and Michael in some very compromising positions. And I think that's an understatement.
Yes.
And as Olivia is telling Cyrus this, Cyrus says, I wrote the book on this kind of political extortion, yet somehow I fell for it. I compromised my integrity. Cyrus ain't got no integrity, man. Cyrus' integrity, the mere fact that you're a politician means you got no integrity. I mean, come on, man.
Yes.
So,
He was mildly impressed with, I've seen this story before. This is as good as my work.
Yeah, that's right. I compromised my integrity, my family, my president, for what?
And sadly, Cyrus fell like many women fall into being compromised by a big, young personality. It just, that's what happens. You lose your focus.
Yeah. So Olivia talks to Liz. Nobody bought that, man. So Olivia lies to
dynamic personality. I'm just saying. Go ahead.
Olivia lies to Elizabeth, telling her that the problem with your phone and you thought you were being bugged. You have a virus on your phone. It was on your network. Probably something maybe your daughter downloaded or something on her tablet computer. And my guy, he cleaned up your network. You're good to go.
It was a chipmunk virus.
And something like.
Virus or something.
Yeah.
She said actually it was the chipmunk virus or Ellen.
Yeah.
We don't know. We're not sure which one.
Which one? So Cyrus is supposed to meet with Michael that night at the apartment Cyrus is paying for, as Cyrus says, like an idiot. But Olivia tells Cyrus, you can't see Michael tonight. The main reason is because you'll probably kill him if you do.
And he agreed. I probably would kill him.
He did agree. Olivia updates Jake and tells him that he's getting out of jail. They're going to let him out. You know, Jake tells her, you could let me rot in here and dance off with that Fitz guy. He called that Fitz guy. I missed that at first. My wife says, you rewind that because he called him the Fitz guy. And he did. I mean, every dig Jake can get in, you know. And she says, don't ever talk about me and the sun and another man again, because standing in the sun is, you know, their little phrase.
No, that's not why she said that.
Why did she say that?
She said that because you don't know where I run that line, son.
Is that what they know?
Hey, shh. The sun comes out every day. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
You ain't the only cat that I've been standing in the sun.
Man. Michael is at Cyrus's door, even though he agreed not to see Michael. Well, Michael didn't know, so Michael, you know, when he broke his date, Michael, I don't know how he could do some homework and find, you know, the chief of staff of the president of the United States where he lives. Who can do that? Who can? But he did, and he shows up at Cyrus's door and says, "Can I come in?" And Cyrus has that look. Well, can I? You know, so you know. And Michael starts right away, starts seducing Cyrus, man, you know. And he says, if you want me to go, I'll go, but it doesn't feel like you want me to go.
Damn, Cyrus.
Had a prostate exam on TV.
You know? And Cyrus says, turn around and bend over.
Damn, Cyrus.
And he says, now what? And he says, shut up and don't say another word. And I was like, okay, I'm uncomfortable.
At first I thought he was going to kill him, but then I realized...
I thought the same thing, man. I thought he was going to bash his head in.
Well, he did kill him.
Right. Cyrus said, I'm about to kill you with this rusty hammer, buddy. Oh, it's going down.
Cyrus did look like a dirty old man.
He did like a dirty old man.
Commercial. It was like, this is not really.
Yeah, I hope
not a good look.
I don't want my mama to see this episode. This was.
Oh boy.
Well, you know, and I'm sure Shauna's gonna get a lot of heat for that, but you know, as she says, hey, it's two people in love. It's two people.
Not as much heat as Cyrus created.
Well, this is true. Huck went through everybody's phones. Michael's phone, Cyrus's phones, Elizabeth's phones. And apparently Michael had access to all of Cyrus's classified intel. But he only gave Liz the base closings information. This is what Olivia finds out when she talks to Michael, right? Because she stopped him in the street. And she says, my associates and I hacked your email. We know you're working for Elizabeth North, and we know what info you gave her. But why didn't you give her more? And as it turns out, he actually cares for Cyrus. I guess he's fallen for Cyrus.
That's what he said. That's what his mouth said.
That's what his mouth said.
That's what your mouth said. But at first, remember, didn't he? I thought he was doing that to get more money. Remember, he held out information. He said that to get more money, I believe.
Yeah, but I think he caught some feelings though, man.
Well, he did because he's getting paid.
Yeah.
He's getting laid.
Yeah.
He's got a house.
Yeah.
I guess so.
Yeah.
It could have been that old Dusty Hammer, though. That old Dusty Hammer made him fall in love.
Michael told Olivia that Elizabeth North keeps a secret apartment. And so Olivia tells Huck, if she's having an affair, we need proof. So Huck goes, Huck finds that apartment like that.
Yes.
You know, and he goes in there and he sets up cameras and audio and the whole thing. And he bugs her apartment. So Jake and Olivia and Fitz, they meet about what's next. And Jake wants to lead the operation to take Rowan down. Fitz wants to use his black ops to do it. And Jake's like, no, I'm the man for this job. I know how everything works because I was command for a couple weeks. I know the ins and outs.
I was command for a couple weeks. Tony, he's thankful he did not say that line. That would have shut you down. What?
For a spell.
Yeah, for a spell. I did vacation relief. You know, and you know, Fitz is saying no and interrupting, and you know, Jake's like, you see what I'm dealing with? You know, this is what I mean. It's one of those things where Fitz tells him, maybe for once, instead of getting yourself laid, you'll do what's best for the mission. So that was Fitz's little dig, you know. And so they decide that Olivia says, I'm the magnet here. I'm gonna be the one who's gonna reel in Pops. I'm gonna reel in Rowan.
She's a silver dangly thing.
Yeah, yes, she's the dongle, as it were.
Shiny object.
Shiny object. That's the word she used. Yeah. So she calls her father and she uses the daddy come help me thing. I'm with you. Both these men hurt me, and come over, come help me. And of course Eli's like, well, what do you need? What can I do? All this, I'm here for you. This, that, and the other. What can I do for you? And dinner. How about dinner? Dinner at 7:30. And so that's in the works. So she was crying on the phone, and then when it was over with, she hangs up and she's good.
She cut it off.
Because she pulled off the con with her father and set him up.
Hey man, you can never doubt the power of the struggle face.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
She can turn it off and on when she needs it.
That's it.
Now,
that's it.
I will say I did feel some kind of way, as I have all season with Olivia's choices. That's your dad, man.
Yeah, but I mean, that's
your dad, man.
But I think in her case, Eli's more of her father than her daddy. Mm-hmm. Right? Yeah. I mean, her father.
So they've all killed people.
Yeah.
Have people killed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. You got Fitz. You got Jake.
Yeah.
And so, as Olivia, I want to bring my father down because he killed Fitz's son.
I think I want to bring my father down because he killed Fitz's son and he killed Harrison, and he's done a lot of horrible things, and it's time he's taken care of. I think that's her angle. I don't think
everybody she's associated with has done the same thing, including herself.
Yeah, but she doesn't see that though. Her father is her father's a monster. Her father is someone who needs to be stopped, and she's part of the solution in getting that done. I think is where she's coming from.
I will say my flag popped up. I was like, I don't know.
Olivia tells Cyrus the latest she's got about the apartment and everything. She even talks about her conversation with Michael, who she says had a wealth of Cyrus's information. But, again, he only gave her the stuff about the base closings and stuff, and it's because he cares about Cyrus. So, which I think in some way that makes Cyrus even more torn because, Cyrus, I think he's fallen for Michael. Clearly, he's fallen for Michael, but I also think that, he betrayed me.
So
even though he only gave Liz the base closings information, I still could never trust him.
Yeah. He wasn't excited about that information when Olivia told him about it. He was like, nah, okay.
Yeah.
You can't be a halfway spy.
Yeah.
If you're gonna do a job, do it the right way. Do a job. Do a job.
And this is speaking of doing it the right way. This is where Huck didn't do. Huck took Javi to a stakeout. Who takes their little kid to a stakeout, man? Who does that?
That's the first rule of any parent. Do not take your child to a stakeout.
You can take them to a steak house, but not a steak out. Huge difference, man.
Yes.
Javi asked Huck, well, why did you leave us, man? What's up with that? And Huck tells him it had nothing to do with either one, you or your mom. It had nothing to do with either one of y'all. And Huck says, because Javi sees a man in the window, and Huck says, go get some ice cream. So it turns out, is it Dan?
Yeah.
Dan and Liz are apparently in cahoots. Now, Dan is the guy who's been taking pictures of Olivia Pope. Mm-hmm. Isn't Dan the guy who was behind the killing of that little teenage girl?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's behind all that. So they're in cahoots. And they're talking, and the doorbell rings, and it's the vice president.
Damn, vice president.
And he tells Dan, go kill 20 minutes. Go take a walk.
No pun intended.
I'm having an affair.
I'm having an affair. And, as it turns out, he's having an affair with Elizabeth.
Hey, man, this guy, that's why he had to be gone for so long. Because he just left Melly.
Yeah.
Yes. Had to get his stamina up.
Yeah.
Man.
So, hey, Liz or Melly, man? Which one, man?
Damn. I'm going to give it to Melly.
Yeah, I got to go with Melly, too.
But Elizabeth,
I don't know. I don't know. You're right. It's a tough call, man. I don't know.
Well, I need you to make that call, man.
Liz or Melly?
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess I go with Melly too.
There
man.
you go. It's unanimous.
I would not share her with y'all. If y'all take Melly, I will take Liz by myself. Do all that.
So Dan's taking his 20-minute walk, and he spots the stakeout truck. I don't know how he spotted it, but he did, and he tries coming through the window. Huge mistake. He ambushes Huck and Quinn, who, by the way, they've come to find out that they were actually staking out the same building, because Quinn was staking out Dan, and Huck was staking out Elizabeth. And so
go back, Tony, because clearly this is the wrong stakeout vehicle. It must say surveillance or on the side of it. Because Quinn walked into the stakeout vehicle.
Yeah. She walked right in, man.
She just walked on in.
Well, I mean, she knew what it was because she works for the company, right?
But again, if you're staking out, you know.
Yeah.
They could have
Maybe they bought it from Command, that damn Acme
Acme Command
truck.
Could have been.
They bought it at Aldi's. It just said stakeout truck. There's no brand on it.
So Huck kills Dan, man. Huck is Dan's trying to come through the window, trying to do some damage and stuff, and Huck grabs his head and rams it through the glass shard that was the window before Dan broke it in. Cuts him right there in the jugular, man. Cuts him right there, man.
He was choking him out.
Yeah.
So he reached back and he pulled down and cut.
And that was it.
What happened to Killer Quinn in that situation? She was incompetent. The gun didn't have no bullets. The screwdriver. Like, what happened?
She got knocked down, man. So Javi sees it all go down, man, with his little ice cream cone. He's like,
now,
and he runs like any little kid would.
Are torn all the way off now. Like, so you took my son. You kidnapped our child.
Yeah.
You don't even know who the hell you are.
Yeah.
You took him on a damn stakeout.
Right.
Yes.
What the hell? You met him at a video place under the assumed name of a child. What is?
And what's he gonna do? What's he gonna do when he gets home? I'm gonna tell. I'm telling.
Man. So
I don't know any kid who drops an ice cream. It doesn't matter. You can see a beheading. Ain't nobody gonna drop no ice cream.
Not no kid.
Video game kids, they would have been like, yeah, finish him. These kids don't have hearts. These kids are killers.
Oh man. So it is now.
He would have been so impressed that he would forever love his dad at that point.
Well, yeah.
Oh my God, my dad just killed a man.
Yeah.
Cut his head off.
Yeah. It's now 7:30, dinner time. So Olivia and Eli are having dinner, and you could tell early on, man, that he suspects something. That he's got that look on his face, like, hey, something's going on here. He just,
I thought he was going to go gently into that good night, but I was wrong.
Yeah, he gives her the "I haven't been a good father" speech, and she starts to feel a little guilty. You know, she starts to feel, and she's nervous because she's never been in. I don't think she's ever been in that situation before, where I'm part of a sting, basically. A sting to bring down my father. She's never been in that situation.
Right.
You know? And then he gets up and he moves to the seat next to her. And that's when it goes down.
She's been in this position getting read by her father, though.
Oh, yeah. And
Here we go again.
He says, it's all over. I'm leaving because of you. You know, you've forsaken me is what he says.
You have forsaken me.
The men outside that are here for you, for me, are dead because of you.
Yes.
Man, and those dudes were getting picked off like like amateurs, man.
I'm in Black Ops. Ooh,
yeah.
And wrong ops.
And of course, yeah. And of course, it's being streamed back to the Situation Room, and the president's like, "What the hell's going on? Somebody give me answers now." How they gonna give you answers now? Everybody's dead who could give you an answer. What is that?
Jake had this look on his face.
I told you.
No.
that little crack you made about getting busy.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. There you go. And everything. Again, I'm sorry. I'm riding with Eli. I'm like, everything he said is pretty much true. That's what I'm saying. You can't really. You're in the game. It's almost like the stop snitching argument.
Yeah.
We're all in this crazy bad stuff. So don't Olivia be holier than thou and give up me. I'm your damn dad, and I got your back for real. And if anybody needs to have a back, you need to have it, and I'm the guy that needs to do it. So I'm with him. I'm with him. Like you can't be in that game and not have OG protecting you. So I don't know.
And really, in that small conversation, we just find out just how far his reach is and how much power he does actually have. I mean, we'd heard about it, but it was really demonstrated that night because he had his guys, take out black ops. I mean, kill them like they were rookies, like they were nothing. It's like they were getting in position to do what they had to do. And yet his guys were already in position, and it's like at the moment, it's like the whole thing was scripted, because when he said those guys are dead, bam, that was their cue to go and pick those guys off, And we cut away for just a second. David Rosen, the Attorney General, and his boys are getting ready to pop the top on these B613 files, and when they do, they're nothing but blank sheets of paper.
Damn you, public storage.
There again.
There you go. And they found a rat in one of the boxes.
Did they find a rat? Man, I was wondering if they did find a rat, man. So there again apparently is the reach of Rowan, man, of Eli Pope, of Command.
Command was so cold in this episode, there are rumors that he's going to get an NAACP Leadership Award. And he's a character.
So he tells Olivia, you were going to let them do that to me. And for the first time in your life, you are on your own. You forsaken me. You think the world is so terrible with me in it. Wait till you see what it's like without me.
Yeah.
Now that I can relate to. I can relate to. When my father died, it was like, I remember someone saying, you never really become a man until you lose your father. And I was like, well, I guess to some degree that's true, because now, you're basically, now what he told Olivia, now you're working without a net.
Yeah.
The net was always there for you to fall on if you had to fall, and now the net's gone.
Well, the question, go ahead, Tom.
No, I was going to say, whatever happens, happens. So.
And that makes me, I know Marcus on team Rowan, I'm thinking about Olivia. Olivia is supposed to be she's the shiny object. She is, everybody wants to be Olivia Pope. She may have the skills to outwit her father.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe this is the opportunity for her to test it, whether or not that's the case. They haven't really gone up against each other really for real. So maybe she, she obviously has misgivings, and he's giving her the Jedi mind trick about, hey, how you going to do me like that?
Right.
But from her perspective, all the things that she's wanted, he's tried to ruin.
Yeah.
In essence.
Yeah.
So it all comes down to this.
The only chink in her armor, I think, is how she handles her life. Like, her inconsistencies with Fitz and, Jake, to me, make it look like you ain't a killer because you got too much feelings and emotions and all this stuff. You made bad moves based on your heart. And I think in that game, you'll get snuffed quickly. Like,
But
her dad could have taken her out many times.
Yeah, but I think she was fairly confident that he wouldn't do that.
Right. But
yeah.
Remember, we've seen a preview.
Now, not so much.
No, not so much. Yeah.
We've seen a preview, though. We've seen a preview of next week, and she's asking for a kill shot.
But is it? Yeah. But is it a kill?
I'm not saying it's a kill shot on Rowan, but
yeah.
That makes me think of look, if Quinn can turn into a super agent.
Well, no, I have no doubt that Olivia will kill her dad. No, that's the part, right? Well, like you said, Troy, that she does have a power that he doesn't have, in that he probably would not kill her, but she will kill him. She was beginning to get him killed last night.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you're right. That's kind of like the power, and that's the being parents. That's the That's the part that parents forget. We have unconditional love for our kids. They don't necessarily have for us.
Well, yeah, but so answer me this though. So the black ops that were they there to kill Eli because the president says let's take him alive?
That was the intention, was to rush in and grab him and take him. They weren't there to kill him.
Because they were set up. They were set up like snipers, though. I mean, you're gonna rush in and kill him. Why are you, on the fire escape outside the building, on the roof of a building? Why are you up there if you're there to take him alive? Well, what do you?
If it got out of hand.
Yeah,
Okay.
Tony. This is a black ops matter, but
Yeah.
if somebody else rushed in, if Rowan's crew tried to come in while they were trying to take him, then there would be a firefight, and then they would have snipers on the scene.
And Fitz's arrogance once again. Jake knows and has been trained by this man.
Yeah.
He knows, and he was, command.
Yeah.
So wouldn't he have more information than? Yes, you're the president, Mr. Big Shot, but you don't know how this thing works, and he does. So that was a bad move by Fitz.
That was a bad move.
Make many bad moves.
Yeah, that was a bad move. So tell me what I missed, man.
You didn't miss anything, Tony.
Yeah. We did see a chink in Tony's armor, though. I think our listeners will be shocked by that when Tony jotted something down incorrectly because he's so smooth. We didn't even know you really jotted it down in order. So in that one moment, Tony, you probably were exposed. So be careful.
But I'm man enough to admit that I blew it, man. So
that's true. That's true.
So well, that's the episode, man. We're one episode away from the winter break. This one was called The Last Supper. I thought it was another great episode, man. I think Eli Pope, the swag he showed at the end when he walked out of the restaurant, and when he got in the car, and when he powered up the window. I mean, that was like, that's the kind of swag you want the president to have. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that was some serious swag that Eli Pope had when he was coming out that restaurant, man. When he got up and left, that was crazy.
Yeah. Too bad he had a late model Ford, though. he had a 96 town car, though.
When he got in the car and drove off and he had to roll the window down. That's right! I'm command, damn it!
And he had that. What was that little funny looking antenna they used to put on the back of the on the trunk of limos back in the day, man?
Oh yeah, that little And they could have shot that from a different angle. We didn't need to see the Uber sign.
Oh.
That's cold,
And they were rolling on sprees, man. What was up with that, man? It was
the thing, again, Shonda Rhimes, man, like, I think the Olivia's ups and downs and inconsistencies make her human, and it really does, from episode to episode. At first, you may not figure something out, and then as it goes on, they start tying up. They're just so well done, and congratulations. I know her other series just got renewed.
How to Get Away with Murder?
How to Get Away with Murder got renewed, yeah. Sadly, Selfies got shut down.
Well,
so
that was the one Amber Rose was supposed to be on, right? Selfies.
Was it?
Yeah.
She didn't make it to her episode, I guess.
Damn. Wiz, I'm gonna need another million to get me through the month.
Blackish also got picked up.
Blackish did get picked up again, yeah. So
and that's not a Shonda Rhimes show.
that's not a Shonda show, man.
People are like, hey man, congratulations. That's not her show, right?
Yeah.
It's not it.
No. Take credit for it all. Hey, the federal budget's been balanced, Shonda. Congratulations, thanks.
Just because it's black doesn't mean it's her show.
The only two ABC shows that she's not doing are Blackish and the Modern Family. So
Modern Family, yeah.
Everything else she did
on her shoulders.
So. Well, there you go. Thanks for watching. Appreciate you watching. And if you can share this and give it a thumbs up and all that, subscribe to the YouTube channel. That means a lot. We also have another show called Men on Everything, where we talk about everything that's happening in the world and then some. So we have that on every week too. You can check it out again on our YouTube channel, which I'll put a link on there in the show notes down below or on the video. So.
And so that's what I say. So everybody the YouTube channel is the best place to catch us now, correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
To be clear.
That's the number one spot to go. So I'm redoing the website, and man, I was working on it last night. I was like, man, this is a bear. This is a bar. This is a bar. And you know,
a job for the master.
A job for the master. Yes. So there you go. So and if you want to help out Troy replace the battery in his smoke detector, you can.
Yeah, please.
Thank you, man.
I need a foot ladder.
There you go.
And a 9-volt battery.
There you go. Somebody posted a message like, whose battery needs to be changed? It ain't me. It will be me, but it ain't me right now. So
please get it changed, man. We could not handle it. The tragedy of us doing the show. You got burned up in a fire, and people are like, oh my God, I remember hearing the alarm. Come on, man. But we can't afford it. It would kill the whole show.
It would kill the momentum, man, that we're building here.
Yeah, it would kill the momentum. You're right, guys. Yeah.
Well, thanks for watching again in New York City. That's Mark Clark. In Washington, D.C. with his low battery on his smoke detector is Troy Johnson. I'm Tony Scott. In my basement is St. Louis, and we'll see you next time.
Tony, by the way, we want to remind everybody to pray for us. We have a meeting with Shanta Rhymes next week.
I forgot
Shanta
that.
Rhymes.
Shanta, yes. Not Shonda. Shanta.
I thought it was Busta Rhymes.
They cousins.
Yeah, it must all be related.